Hey guys, welcome back to the Sullivans or the Sullivan family. How is everybody doing? We thought today that we'd do a bit of a catch up. Why do I look so low today? That's better, isn't it? And we're very white, by the way. We're very white. I quite like that. I thought we'd do a bit of a catch up on what's been going on this week.
We're both wearing bands t-shirts as well, I've just realised.
Mine's cooler. Definitely cooler. Just on what's been going on this week and what's been bothering us, and I suppose just a bit of a catch up from us, really. It's been quite a busy week, isn't it?
I literally haven't had time to catch up with anything.
I think we must say that
I've still got a
vlog.
washing down there, and I'm halfway through cleaning the bathroom, and it's nearly 3 o'clock, and I've got to go and get the girls from work in a minute.
So did you just say the time? Did you?
Yeah.
Because it's literally like 2:25, and we're like squeezing everything in today.
Happens?
I know. So I took the kids for a walk this morning because we kind of flipped it a bit. They're doing a bit of homeschooling there now. They're doing a bit of their reading eggs, but we kind of flipped it a bit. So I took them for a walk and all this morning, and then we're doing a bit of homeschooling this afternoon. We've got to pick Agnes up as well, and then you're going out and you need to pick Eva up.
Olivia and Eva.
Oh my God, it's just so much going on today. It's crazy. So the biggest news of the week is we have helped our two eldest children buy a car this week, which is nice. So they've now got their own little
Well, they will
car.
have when we've picked it up.
But there is a reason why we ended up helping them to buy a car, because I tried to renew my insurance on my car for Elizabeth, because we've got Olivia driving,
Well, she's
learning to drive. Sorry, she hasn't passed the test.
She's nearly ready to take a test, if she could actually get it.
Yeah. That's a whole nother vlog, that, isn't it?
Yeah,
about getting driving tests at the moment. It's nigh on impossible. So Elizabeth, we needed to renew the insurance on my car, and when I went to renew the insurance on my car, with Elizabeth added, so that's me, Zoe and Elizabeth, it was £300 a month.
Which is random, because when she was on as a provisional driver, it cost us an extra... Well, bearing in mind, we were paying about £30 a month for our insurance on one car, so twice, because we're both insured on each other's cars.
Yes.
So when Lizzie only insured on your car was provisional, it was about an extra £20 a month. So we were paying about 60 a month on your car and about 30 on mine.
Yeah.
And then when she passed her test, it went up to 95. So Lizzie was paying the extra, wasn't she? Because her insurance.
Yeah,
so
that was the deal. That Lizzie paid the extra.
It was about £55 all in all, wasn't it? And then all of a sudden the renewal comes in. Now she's been driving for nearly a year.
And I changed. Obviously, when she passed the test, I had to inform the insurance company and let them know. So and that didn't really affect the insurance.
Literally like £30. Well, £35 extra. So it's about £55 extra. And then this year, your renewal, it's suddenly like £250.
And I did Go Compare, and I did what's the Meerkat one?
Go Compare, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh,
Compare the Market. So I did Compare the Market, Go Compare, and it just seems that this year for new drivers, like newish drivers, it's crazy.
She's 20 as well.
Yeah, I know.
So
it's crazy.
She's not
I can believe it. So the best price I could get was just below that. So it's about 200 and something. And I was like, this can't be right.
So we took her off the insurance, didn't we? And put it through. And the quote for us two on the car came in at £25.
£22 a month.
Yeah.
£22 a month for us old people to keep driving.
We have the bit of a dilemma in that obviously we have two cars. So if we want to go anywhere together as a family, I can only take 6 people. He can only take 6 people. So like... and a lot of the time the older ones are working and doing those things, but there's normally more than 7 of us.
Yeah.
There's normally like 8 or 9, so we have to take 2 cars.
Yeah.
Well, when the girls are working, which they are working quite a lot, we either have to take them over or...
Elizabeth takes my car and takes them over.
But then that leaves us without a car. Now, during Easter, that was quite difficult because it left us quite often with only one car. They work obviously much more in the busy seasons because they do seasonal. It's busier when it's summer, Easter, Christmas even. So in the summer, they're going to be at work a lot, which means we're going to be out without one car a lot. So this was something that we thought about quite a lot before, and we were like, I just don't know if we can be in a position where if everything fails, we have to, because obviously we're going to have to pay for it if it all fails. They're taking on the commitment, but if
if it all goes to rats. Yeah.
But it was kind of like, you're going to end up having to pay us an extra £80 for your insurance a month, or we could get you a little car. So then we started having a look for little cars and insurance on little cars. Now their own insurance would be like £2,000 a year or something. But if it's your car, and then
if I'm the owner of the vehicle,
and then the named drivers,
it worked out.
So we managed to we had a look on what the insurance would be on like a little Fiat 500, because obviously our cars are like 1.6.
Yeah.
As
and
well.
that's a 1.2, isn't it? The Fiat's
there's
1.2.
So that's again going to be cheaper because it's a 1 litre or 1.2 litres. They're perfect little cars, a little Fiat 500. So anyway, we had a look, and the insurance would come in at about £80 a month.
With I'll show you.
For all of us.
You've probably seen one of these. It's not quite a black box, but we've gone with Hastings
like
Direct.
Tracker.
And they give you like a little driving tracker thingy. See,
so the girls,
if you start speeding, you know.
The girls are taking on the payment. So we've managed to get them a car through Arnold Clark, who we got our cars through, and I've always been very good to work with, haven't they, Arnold Clark? We've had, I know at the end of the day, people have different experiences, but
some people have had a problem
we've
with
got
Arnold
both
Clark,
of our cars through Arnold Clark, and they've both been really good to deal with. No issues at all. So anyway. And the other good thing is you can look on their website, you can reserve the car, all those sorts of things. They'll do a walk round, all those things. So we managed to find them a little Fiat 500 in the kind of price range we were looking. They are taking on finance. We've got the finance. They're taking on the finance payments so they pay
between
us.
them.
So it works out for them both about £100 a month each, doesn't it? And that's for the insurance and the car itself. And then obviously fuel and everything else is down to them. Livia's not passed a test yet, but she was willing to put in for the car as well, because
she's not far off. She
desperately wants a car, and she doesn't want to learn to drive. Whereas Lizzie has been using our cars, Livia does not want to. She just doesn't.
She's worried about the size of the vehicle, because obviously it's a 7-seater,
our car is much bigger as well.
It's a 7-seater, and it's quite a big car to park and to drive and all that kind of stuff.
So we're picking it up next week for them. So they will now have a car as well, which will, because obviously we're quite rural where we are, in that there's no buses, there's no, you need to have a car if you live here, don't you? They need to have a car to get around. Not just that, but like Lizzie will, pick up Noah from work, because they obviously all work over in Lossy. She'll pick Noah up from work. She'll pick, Charlotte up from Elgin or whatever. So it will be their car together. And then when the other two learn to drive as well, they can start putting in some payments. It will be,
and we can use it as well, can't we? If we need to. So, but we're going to help them with. We'll kind of help them with maintaining it, but we want them to have a lot of the responsibility, because they want a car. But it just worked out so much cheaper.
It did.
Than the ridiculous amount that they're charging now for insurance for kind of first-time drivers is crazy.
And obviously our car is bigger.
I can believe it.
So they needed something smaller. They needed a little run around for themselves. So that's just what worked out.
You're talking, it would have cost us £4,000 a year to insure one car, and then you take that all away, and then it costs you £245. That's the difference.
So our insurance has gone down.
Bonkers, like.
And their payments, they, instead of just paying us £75 a month for the insurance, they've now got a car for £100 a month, and they're both working, so they can pay in for that.
So it's the first time ever that our kids have bought like their own car. So it's another stage, isn't it? Another stage in life.
Big.
So it's also teaching them commitment as well, and the realisation of kind of what cars cost. When you start adding in MOTs, tyres, and all the other stuff that
endless bit of money.
Don't think about. You just do with cars.
It's the responsibility of it as well, though, isn't it? And they're ready for that responsibility. Like I said, they both work. They've both got, income coming in. They're both ready for. It gives them a little bit more freedom as well. They don't always have to check with us whether they can borrow the car or whether they need the car, and it means that we've got that bit more freedom in the summer as well. That if we're going somewhere, it's hard enough to arrange when you've got older ones and younger ones. It's hard enough to arrange a day out or something without having to midway through the afternoon take somebody or pick somebody up from work, or let alone with not having that extra car as well. So it'll be
it'll be a bonus. Okay, and the next thing is I'm going to give you an update on where we are with the big hole in our garden. And I'm happy to report that the hole is still there.
There is no update.
There literally is no update. I have...
That's a lie. There's a couple of updates.
Go for it. Tell me.
The
Tell me
drains were
more.
blocked again, so the man had to come around and do them again. And all the safety fences that they put round fell over.
They did. There is a slight concern that I have as well, is that the
air source heat pump
the air
looks like
source
it's gonna
heat pump
fall
is
in the
right
hole.
next to the big hole, and some of the sand had come away from underneath, and I was a little bit concerned about that. Who's that? I was a little bit concerned about that. So I've raised all of this with the council. They sent somebody around to just put a bit more earth back underneath the edge of the pit. So fingers crossed, we will still have heating and hot water. The air source heat pump won't be falling into the hole and everything just buried on top. So honestly, I don't know what's going on at all. I have chased up the council
But
a
it's
couple
all
of
right
times
because
this
nobody
week.
else knows what's going on.
Nobody really knows what's going on. So it's still situation normal. But everything is the same. It's just the fact that we've everything, we've just got this hole in the
I did put my
garden.
washing line back up though because
Yeah.
I couldn't lose my washing line because they'd taken it down because it's like right next to the big hole. But I kind of kicked some of the drain pieces out the way, and you put my washing line back up for me.
I did.
So I can at least use it because the weather is nice and I can't get my washing out on the line. There's nothing worse.
Yeah.
I can't put my washing out when the weather is nice. So I mean, it might fall in the hole if it blows off, but hopefully it'll be all right.
Fingers crossed, it'll be okay. So that's the update. That's update number 2. Okay, we're no further forward with the hole in the hole in the ground in the garden. So yeah, there we go. Okay, and the last subject we're going to talk about this week is let's talk about British Gas. Okay, I have refrained up till now of having a bit of a whinge about British Gas. So anybody that's got an old style
Anybody that's
meter,
customers with British Gas
right? Anybody,
probably could say the same thing.
Anybody that's got an old style meter, and you know what I mean, a key meter or anything like that, or they call it is it a teleradio meter? One of these meters that's going to get switched off, right? So we had one in our house, right? So we had a letter come through the post. They told us you need to get your meter changed because if you don't get your meter changed, you're not going to get energy ever again, and you're going to go back to the dark ages, right? So that's what, fair enough. As a conscientious customer, what I will do is I'll get in touch with British Gas and I'll say to them, okay, well, let's get the meter changed. So what they wanted to do was they wanted to swap this for a smart meter. This was back in September 2024. Okay, so they wanted to swap it for a smart meter, and then we had quite a few problems then leading up to Christmas of me on the phone back and forth to try and get an engineer out to fit the smart meter. So let me just put it into context. We had 3 engineers out. The first engineer came out and said we can't replace the meter because there's no signal for the smart meter. Apparently the smart meter needs its own almost Wi-Fi signal so that the signal can be sent back to British Gas or whoever's supplying your energy. Okay, so I was like, right, okay, so what are we going to do then? Well, he said, well, he put it all back together, put the key meter back on and left the house, right? So I'm back on the phone now to British Gas. What are we going to do? We still need his meter changing. Okay, we'll send another engineer out. So this is now, after me being on the phone for quite some time, many different occasions, we now get another engineer out that finally replaces the meter. Now, the meter was replaced in January, so you can imagine now from between September and January, I'd spent a lot of time on the phone to British Gas, a lot of the time repeating what I'd said in the previous conversations and trying to get this meter changed, which is something that they wanted me to do. Yeah, they wanted to do it. I hadn't phoned in the first instance. They wanted me to replace the meter. And if you remember ages ago, we were thinking about replacing the meter anyway.
But ever since we moved in.
If you were going back a year or so ago, because we had so many problems.
We had a few times they said we're coming out to fit a smart meter, and either nobody would turn up or they'd come out and say, oh, we can't fit it.
Exactly.
And that had happened a few times before this September, if
Yes.
you remember.
Sorry, yes.
Since we moved in to September when they said we were switching it all off and we had to swap, there was a few appointments made for, we're coming to fit your smart meter. And I know that there's lots of you that will have had that letter saying, we're going to come and fit a smart meter, and they don't turn up, or they phone and say, we've got no engineers in the area that can do a smart meter for you. So I didn't expect in January when they said we're going to come and fit this smart meter. I even said to you, there's no way they're going to come and fit that meter. They're either not going to turn up, or they'll turn up, they'll go and look in the cupboard and they'll do some work and they'll say they can't do it. But lo and behold, this guy did fit the meter, didn't he? He did fit the meter. So then we had a smart meter, which then told us what we were using. Which
well, there's more to the story. So basically, yes, as Zoe's quite rightly said, before we'd even got to the stage of swapping the meter over because they're going to be defunct. Yeah, we were trying to swap the key meter over in any case because we had so many problems with the key, if you remember, and I was travelling around Murray trying to get the key topped up.
That,
Do you remember that? Yeah. So I was trying to get somewhere that would top the key up, and I think I phoned up about 15 different shops and outlets to see if they would top up the key meter, and there was one place at the time, and that was the other side of Elgin, if you remember. Anyway, so now fast forward to January, so they fitted the smart meter. The smart meter is fitted, but they didn't have the signal, so in the end, what they did was they put it in credit mode. Because apparently you could put a smart meter in credit mode, which makes it like an old style meter. And then what you do is you phone up and you give the meter readings, or you go on your account online and you give the meter readings and all this kind of stuff. Now this, bearing in mind, this is January. We are now in April, nearly the end of April, and they still haven't sorted out the main problem, which is me being able to submit my meter readings, right? So bearing in mind now we've had another engineer come out to check the meter and to see why the meter can send the signal to British Gas, right? We know why it can't send the signal to British Gas, because there's not enough signal, apparently, right? So we knew that. So we're repeating ourselves. Now we've had another engineer come out and go, I don't know what to do because it's working, but you just need to submit your meter readings. I said, I know. I don't even know why you're out here, mate. But there we go. Do you want a cup of tea? So anyway, so he went off and he did all his things on his iPad and off he went again. So since then, I've had phone call after phone call after phone call, speaking to different people at British Gas to try and get them to sort out my account so I can submit my meter readings, and this is all the online account, so it should have been switched over and I should have had a new account and all this set up, right? But no, it still hadn't been done. We still...
there was a while ago when you went on and it said our account was closed.
Yes, that's right.
And then you finally, the other day, got a meter reading through to them, didn't you?
Yes.
And they said they'd sort the account out and blah-de-blah. And about 4 days later, you went online...
to check my account.
And they said our account was closed and we owed them...
Oh, so they actually said, we're sorry to see you're leaving us.
Yeah, we're leaving.
You owe us 250 quid. And I was like...
So we'd obviously our meter was brand new, so it was zero at the start when we first got it. And now I've been writing down what it's been using, because it will keep some months, but it won't keep others. So I've been writing down on the calendar how much we've been using. Obviously, you've got to add on the daily rate as well on top of that. So just so we had a rough idea, so we can make sure we were keeping money aside for the electricity, because we use a lot of electricity, and we know we do. Normally we have
we have to prepare for it.
We normally have £450 a month that we put, and I know that's horrendous, but there's a lot of people.
It's our reality. There's 14 people in this house using energy
summer,
all day.
We use less, and this is the thing about like paying by direct debit, because we can make up for in the summer what we use in the winter. Obviously, having a key meter, we have to put it on first. So we've been, we have the money put aside, so we've put it all aside, we've kept it all aside, but I'm like, this is going to build up, and I don't like not having paid it. I need to pay some off. I don't want to get, even though we've got the money put aside, I don't want, I want to know where we are with it.
You're going to get shafted later on, aren't you, with a £5,000 bill.
You phoned up and the meter reading was in the fact, it was like 4,000 something, wasn't it?
4,000 kilowatt hours we've used.
Yeah, so
I phoned up and I was...
No, they said we'd used 702 units. 702, we've used 4,000, so like 5 times that.
So I'm like,
we owe them about £1,200.
We're trying to be honest in what we've used. We're trying to pay our bill, and they now have sent us a bill saying we owe them 200 quid, which is probably, you can add a zero on that.
Yeah, it's probably more like £1,200.
Yeah, right. So anyway, I phoned up yesterday again to British Gas. This is probably, I can't even remember how many times without going back through my call history.
Another 2 hours on the phone.
I was on the phone for, I was actually on the phone
2 hours.
It was a long time. And to be honest with you, we'd gone through the whole process again from start to finish, right? Going back to going back to September last year. You know, when it was initiated by British Gas, they wanted to change this meter over, how many phone calls we'd had, how many engineers have been out. They were supposed to send someone out to read the meter, and nobody turned up, right? So and every time we do that, we've got to move everything out of the way. We've got to prepare the place so they can come in and do whatever they've got to do and then go again. Because other than that, we can get to the meter, but you've just got a little gap in the door. Right, so I'm now on the phone. We've gone through the whole procedure again, the whole nightmare again for an hour or for almost 2 hours.
2 hours.
The whole thing had been gone through, and I then we talked about everything. Yes, Mr. Sullivan, we're going to get it all sorted for you. Blah 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 blah. Right, we'll leave it at that. Then he phoned me back again, and I was on the phone again for a little bit longer, and he wanted some photos sent in. He wanted a picture of the meter reading and all that kind of stuff. So I sent that over through the email, and that was it. Done. Right. Okay. Fast forward to this morning.
You did get a complaints number. And
I did.
So we then got a complaint manager and a complaints number. Finally.
Yep.
And a case number.
Yep.
Complaints case number.
Yep. So
you're getting somewhere. You can get to the point where you can get a complaints number. You might actually get some help, because they are the most useless company I have ever dealt with in my life. So we have history with British Gas. Just completely going to interrupt. We have history with British Gas. We used British Gas years ago, and they've got not got any better. We had terrible problems with them in the same sort of vein. And I'm going back. I can't even remember where we lived at this time. It might have even been Cornwall, but it was a long time ago. And I vowed that day when we finally got it all sorted to never ever use British Gas again, ever, because they are just the most horrendous company to deal with. I mean, they make billions in profit, but they cannot do their admin at all. They put customers like way down below. They just do not care at all.
Well, the reason why
they are awful. So anyway, since then we've always gone with somebody else. Anybody. I mean, we had a few problems with Eon, but they were quite good at sorting it out.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get problems along the way, you know, I get that, but they are horrendous to deal with, and their customer service is horrendous, like absolutely horrendous. I can't even stress it enough how awful and how much time we've wasted on the phone trying to deal with this. We're trying to give them money, for God's sake, trying to deal with this. They are just horrendous. But when we moved in here, because we had a key meter, we didn't have any choice. And when we asked who it was with and they said British Gas, I just thought, oh, God, here we go. Can't bear the company, can't bear dealing with them, can't bear the fact that they make absolutely billions in profit but put nothing back into their customers whatsoever. But anyway, you can finish off now.
Okay. So I'm just going to put it into context. I don't think Zoe likes British Gas.
I don't.
So
they're useless. It's just the amount of time you've wasted on the phone to them. Oh, who's Ben on the phone to? Oh, British Gas again, and they just don't sort it out. I have
probably spent
you've probably spent
a day or 2 full days,
or two full days
on the phone to British Gas, just trying to sort this one problem out.
It's ridiculous.
So where was I? Yeah. So anyway, I get a phone call this morning from the complaints team, and she's a love. Honestly, this is not personal. The people that you deal with, they're just normal people, right? It's the company. So anyway, she phoned me up. She said apparently there's a problem with your meter reading, and I went through the whole process again, the whole thing again, and this time, fingers crossed, I think we might be getting somewhere. I think she realised, and as it turns out, she was completely honest with me. For the first time, she was completely honest with me. She was really, really good, and she said, "Yep, I can see from all of your call history that quite a few members of British Gas staff had dealt with your requests and all that kind of stuff, but they never ever once jotted anything down. They never really they've not followed through. They've not added to the list of things that are going wrong." And this is not me phoning up and ranting. This is me just saying, look, you need to sort this out, because.
But it gets to the point where you're at a high complaint level before they will do anything.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many people talking about this on social media as well. In fact, I saw somebody that I follow the other day talking about this on social media, and they'd actually put like a black mark against her name on her credit history, and she'd paid in full. these are the things that these companies are, like British Gas, are doing. They're making absolutely billions in profit, but their customer services, and it takes you to get to this point to actually get dealt with, and it's ridiculous. Absolutely
I have to
ridiculous.
say, I'm actually quite exhausted with it now. It's been an exhaustive process.
It's laughable. It's ridiculous.
And to top it all off, so anyway, I spoke to the lovely lady today. But I forgot to mention, after I've been on the phone to the guy yesterday for a couple of hours.
Yeah, 2 hours on the phone.
Right, half an hour later, I get a phone call from British Gas, believe it or not, telling me that I need to switch my meter from a radio telemeter to a smart meter because it's going to be defunct. And I'm like, is it April Fool's? Are you, honestly, I said, really? And then I was so gobsmacked. I was like, right, mate, okay, whatever. I was so gobsmacked that I've just been on the phone for an hour and a half trying to sort out the whole problem with the meter. And this guy phones me up from another department telling me I need to replace my meter.
Useless.
And I'm like, oh my God.
You would think companies that are making that amount of money would get their admin sorted, because at the end of the day, customers make their business, and, you know, they need to deal with customers better. They need to treat customers better.
I think it's also...
We're already paying...
Yeah, but it's also...
But we're already paying horrendous amounts of money for this, for electricity and gas, yeah? Horrendous.
We are. We're all
way
paying,
overpriced.
We're all paying far too much
so
money.
much
Far
for
too much money.
shareholders and everything else to earn their money off of. The least they could do is actually sort out things when you need them sorted out. That's the least they could do.
It's the lack, for me, it's the lack of communication between the different people.
It's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
And not having the care to write everything down so the next person that comes on knows exactly what's going on.
It's like nobody ever finishes the job. Nobody ever finishes the job. That they speak to you on the phone, and that's that. They just put the phone down and they move on to the next person. And it takes you to get to somebody like at a complaints level who finally goes, right, I'm going to take responsibility for this. I'm going to deal with this. And then you finally feel like you're getting somewhere. But it takes you to get to that level first. It shouldn't be like that. And I mean, these people that are at that level, they must get horrendous.
Inundated.
They must just because people are at that point where they're so fed up with it all. They must just deal with this sort of thing all the time. And I feel for them. I really do.
But the worst thing is that it's not that British Gas are chasing us for money or anything. We are trying to pay our bill. That at the end of the day, we are trying to stay on top of our bill, so we don't end up with a £5,000 bill at the end of the year.
Yeah, they're not chasing us.
And it's like
I'm trying to pay them.
And I could have paid them their £250 that they asked us for.
But we know we have more money than that, so we know.
And you know that at the end of the day they'll catch up.
And all right, I could keep that money in my bank account and just have it there, but I don't like owing people money, so I want to get it paid so it's cleared, it's squared off, so we can move on. And then not just that, but then I can I like to, because I have a budget for everything during the month, I need to know that we're sticking to budget on all the things that we can. And I know that in the summer, I mean, it used to be we were paying £250 a month, but in the winter we're like £450. We've even been up to £600, which is horrendous, I know, but we have a large family. We use electric all the time. We don't have gas.
It's not
just
horrendous.
electric.
It's scary.
Yeah, and
because the costs just keep going up.
We've recently found out that our air source heat pump hasn't been working efficiently enough, so that's probably been costing us more all winter, which is another thing that we need to deal with.
Okay, guys, we are back. It is now nearly 4:30. We had to stop because we realised that Olivia needed picking up from work and Agnes needed picking up from school and everything else, and then everyone came back home from school. So anyway, we found another spot where we can just finish the vlog now.
Literally got 5 minutes.
We've literally got 5 minutes. This is how our day's going today, guys. It is just rapid. Anyway, to cut a long story short, right now. It's all now with it's been escalated to their complaints team. So I mean I'm just going to wait and see what happens now. I mean we need the account sorting out. We need to be able to submit our meter readings, and we need to that's all we need to do. That's it, guys. It's just being able to do those two things: is pay our bill and submit our meter readings. That's all we need to do. So all of that process that we've talked about before the months and months of phone calls, the months and months of engineers coming out and speaking to different people at British Gas, and that's all we want to do. We want to be able to we want to be able to submit meter readings and to pay our bill, and that's it, isn't it? That's pretty much it.
It's honestly ridiculous. I also know that we're not the only people that have a problem with British Gas, so you know.
Well, I was basically going to say, right, we're going to wrap the video up there, guys, because obviously we've got to get on. But I just want you to just in the comments, just let us know, do you have the same problem with your energy company? Do you have the same problem with British Gas? Just let us know in the comments, guys, because it can't just be, there's got to be so many issues. And in another video, we're going to talk about the cost of living and the energy, the actual cost of energy, because that's ridiculous in itself as well.
Don't even get me started on that one.
It's absolutely bonkers. So we're going to bring that. We're going to start talking about.
We've done something similar before, and
that
was before it got
we did
more ridiculous.
If you remember, we did that before it started going crazy. I think it was the first time they lifted the cap.
I don't even know what we're paying.
Nobody understood it. Nobody really understood it.
It's a bit like when, do you remember when petrol went up to over £1?
Yeah, back in the 90s.
And everybody was in uproar.
Everybody went
and
nuts.
now we think it's lucky if we're paying less than £1.80.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like £1.50 or something at the moment for diesel, and you know, you think, oh, that's good.
Everybody went crazy.
It's not good at all. They just put you on a different kind of way of thinking. So all of a sudden now it becomes more normalised. So you forget that your shopping used to cost you £100 a week, and now it costs you £400 a week.
And it's
then you think, if you
with the
get it
energy
for
costs.
£300 a week, you think, oh, it's so much better, but it's not really. They've just put the prices of everything up, so the markup on things so much. Things like energy, and I don't even get me started. It's ridiculous.
That's a whole nother vlog.
Whole nother vlog.
Anyway, guys, really hope you've enjoyed today's vlog and our little catch up, and I'll talk about our energy supplier, British Gas. Let us know in the comments, guys, what you think about your own supplier and how that's going, and British Gas if you're with them. Please subscribe to our channel, guys. Please subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss a notification. Don't forget our links in the video description below for all of our social media, our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and Patreon. And that just leaves me and Zoe to say thank you so much, guys, for all of your support. Thank you for watching. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.